Right, hello viewers, welcome back to the channel, and a product I never knew I needed until today. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if I need it, but here it is anyway. It is the brand new Muc-Off air blaster. They haven't sponsored the video, they sent it in for test at my request because I was keen to see what this product is all about. And what it is essentially an air compressor or a small hairdryer. We'll get into the what it is in a minute, but the why is something to deal with first. Now, essentially designed for drying your bike after you wash it. If you watch any pro bike mechanic wash their bike with a jet wash, which I shared quite a few over the years here on Just Ride Bikes, you'll know they jet wash a bike because they have to work quickly, but then a very important step is to use an industrial air compressor to dry the bike, to drive out any water in the chain, the sprockets, around the headset bearings, make sure there's no water anywhere on the bike and it's totally dry before being lubed and prepped for the next day. And that's a really important step because water, as you know, will rust any metal component. So yeah, the pro bike mechanics have an industrial compressor, and most good bike shops and pro bike mechanics will have an air compressor, an industrial air compressor. They're quite big units and quite expensive, which not only dries the bike after washing, but also can inflate tyres and very handy for tubeless tyres as well. But the idea of a portable air compressor for the home mechanic, the home cyclist, to dry their bike after washing is a new one to me. I don't think any brand I know of has come out with a product like this aimed at that category. So yeah, kind of interesting really, it's taken this long for something like this to come out. And I wash my bikes all the time. I'm always washing bikes because I live in the UK where it's always wet and muddy and the roads are filthy. But I don't have an air compressor at home. I've never used an air compressor or a hairdryer to dry the bike, but maybe I should be. And it's also worth looking at how popular mini compressors have come for inflating tyres as a replacement for a mini pump or CO2, and some similarities in this technology coming from other sectors, other niches into the cycling space, and these are all rage right now. I'm a bit on the fence about them personally, but I'm an old man. But this, yeah, it's interesting. So what is it then? Well, it's small, compact, quite lightweight. It has 4 settings for the fan speed with an 80-watt motor driving that fan up to a maximum of 100,000 RPM, and there are 4 modes, and that impacts the battery life from 10 minutes up to a claimed 90 minutes. And there's a USB charging port to charge the battery in 3 hours, and a simple button on the front to suck air in the back and spit it out the front with a little rubber nozzle there to sort of channel the airflow into a smaller sort of a column or cylinder. So that's that. And I tried it on my bike yesterday, washing my bike. I gave it a test run. Definitely remove some water from the bike. Look at the puddles on the floor there. So there we go. It's interesting, makes quite a noise. It maintains pressure working around the whole bike for a good 5+ minutes then. And it's definitely quite warm. Not hot, not burning my hand, but definitely quite warm. And yeah, it kind of works. You can see it pushing water away from where you're directing the compressor around the headset bearings and around the chain, around the cassette. And yeah, it does dry your bike out. It does take it a while. It's not as powerful as a professional air compressor, definitely not as powerful as that. So it takes a bit longer perhaps. It's quite noisy, as you heard, but certainly no noisier than one of these, and not enough to get the neighbours leaning over the fence and wondering what that racket is. So yeah, kind of interesting, but there's a big but. It's £120. Yes, that's a lot of money. And to put that price in comparison, I did a bit of Googling around for this type of product, and it turns out you can buy a similar air compressor that's used in other sectors like IT and office stationery for drying your laptop and stuff like that, I guess. They are half the price, sometimes a quarter of the price, so a lot cheaper than one of these. I've no idea how those ones compare to the one we have here. Maybe I'll buy some and do a group test of cheap versus this, which is quite expensive. And also, to put that price in perspective, a professional air compressor like the ones a bike shop will have or a pro bike mechanic will have in the back of a team truck is about the same money or a bit more money, but they are a lot more powerful. This is 80 watts. Those professional air compressors are 1.5 horsepower, which equates to about 1200 watts. So way more powerful. And that, I think, is a dilemma for this. Yes, it works okay and does dry your bike, but clearly not as powerful, not as punchy as a professional air compressor. The other downside to this as well, compared to a professional air compressor, you can't also inflate your tires as well. They're not dual purpose like those ones are. But I don't have one at home. Who's going to go out and buy an air compressor? And they are very noisy. You have to plug into the mains, a bit more complex, and not as portable as this. This, of course, you can put in your kit bag, you're going traveling, washing your bike in the car park after a race, a quick spritz over with this, and it won't rust by the time you get home from your bike race. But an interesting product, just a first look, a first impression to share it with you. I'll keep using it over the next 3 months and report back and let you know if it's rocked my world, if it's a game changer, if it's a product I wondered how I survived all these years without in my life. Or will it be a whole new category in the same way these tyre inflators have become very rapidly in the last few years? So yes, interesting indeed. Let me know your thoughts of this product by dropping a comment down below. And if you want to find out more, not sponsored by Muc-Off at all, I'll put a link to the Muc-Off website down below. There we go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon.